and then you can talk and people can hear you. I will call to order this regular meeting of the Board of Education, which was duly noticed on December 5th, 2025, through the posting and notification of the press in accordance with Wisconsin Statute 19.84. How about the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes. Yes. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce to you all Dr. Grant, who is the principal at Harrison Elementary School. She has been a proud member of the Janesville School District since 2002. She became principal at Harrison in 2010 and was named Administrator of the Year only 3 years later. She is a lifelong learner who has 3 master's degrees and a doctorate in education. Dr. Grant is passionate about the power of education and firmly believes every child has the right to a high-quality education. She has 2 college-aged children of her own, both of whom are proud graduates of Craig High School. Dr. Grant, whom did you bring with you today?
Thank you so much for that introduction. Good evening. I am super excited and proud to be here tonight with 2 of our fantastic Harrison Hawks. This is Otis Marco, and he is in 4th grade in Mrs. Whitney's class at Harrison, and this is his little brother Arlo, who is in kindergarten in Mrs. D's class. Each year, we get to bring only one group of students to say the pledge from each school, so this is a huge honor. And when I sent out the email to the staff to say, like, hey, who should we bring this year? Mr. Clowder, our PE teacher, said immediately, we need to bring Otis and Arlo. He said that these guys, every single day, they are showing up, they're working hard, they're being kind, and they have excellent sportsmanship. And those are just a couple of the qualities of why they were selected tonight. So I'm super proud of them, and we're glad to have them here tonight. So Otis and Arlo, take it away.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, I need a motion to adopt the December 9th, 2025 Board of Education agenda.
So moved.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes 7-0. Next, the safety message.
Good evening. Safety messages focused around winter safety, so for students and parents and staff, dress warm and dry in layers, have warm socks and insulated boots on to prevent frostbite. Visibility matters, wear bright colors or reflective gear. I was saying I was leaving a workout facility tonight and there was kids running to their parents' cars and you couldn't hardly see anybody, so it's, with it being so dark early, if they're at events at school, I'm sure this is happening as well. Watch your step, walk carefully on the ice, like the penguin shuffle is what it says. Short steps and use handrails. Stay warm and hydrated. Take breaks, come inside if you're wet and drink water. Be aware of slippery spots. And then for bus safety, use handrails, don't rush, and be visible at the stops.
Thanks, Michelle. How about recognition of our fall athletes? Welcome, everybody. Thanks for taking your time to be here. It's always a joy to celebrate positive things going on in the school district.
Thanks for having us here tonight. My name is Ben McCormick, the Athletics and Activities Director at Craig High School. I'd like to thank you for inviting us here tonight to recognize our student athletes and our coaches who advanced to the state tournament this past fall. Before I introduce our coaches and athletes, I want to share a couple of highlights from this past season. We had several of our fall athletes earn all conference awards and had several team successes, including our girls volleyball team who won the conference championship for the first time since 1996. So that's a great accomplishment for them. Our participation numbers have come out of COVID and we've continued to rise every year out of COVID. This past fall, we were up 9%, which is a pretty big number. We had 385 students participating in a fall sport this year. Winter sports have started and we have 234 students participating in winter sports. We have a game tonight. Mrs. DeGraff asked me if we could get done a little bit early so she could watch her son Drew play some. We're also excited to have 417 kids participate in at least one club, with half of these involved in at least one, involved in 2 or more clubs. And then finally, a huge thank you to our coaches and advisors for working with our student athletes to provide these valuable experiences. Again, I want to thank you and the community for providing us this opportunity to compete in education-based athletics and for allowing us to attend tonight and honor these exceptional Janesville student athletes. So with that, I'd like to introduce our girls golf coach, Stephanie Hansen, and her daughter, Alexis.
All right, so I will keep this short, but really I think Alex is obviously a pretty good kid. I might be a little biased, but Alex is a very high-achieving kid, but she actually went into our golf season with the focus of just trying to enjoy her last year of golf. It paid off, and she made it to state as an individual. She ended her final 2 rounds at the University Ridge shooting an 88, and then her final round, the last day, an 84, which was her PR. Over the last 4 years, Alex has been a really good example of what a hardworking kid can achieve. She's made it to state all 4 years, 2 different sports, team and individual, while maintaining a 4.0. She earned over a 30 on her ACT. She's an AP Scholar kid. She's been our student council president all 4 years. National Honor Society, National Science Honor Society. I'm not gonna cry. And this is only because I'm a mom and I'm realizing she's a senior and it's horrible. She's been a captain of all 3 sports, 3 times in gymnastics, twice in softball, once in golf. Her and our other captain for golf, Macy Murphy, are the only 2 girls that were 3 sport athletes all 4 years at Craig, which I'm pretty proud of as their golf coach. I think she's a great example of what focus, grit, and determination can lead to. I did it without crying. Do you want me in it or just them?
No.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah. Of course.
We'll let him go in there with you. We'll do one with just you two.
It's so cool.
And now I would like to introduce our cross-country coaches, Jessica Lawton and Hunter Solomon.
We're just going to highlight a few things. One is that our boys team qualified for state this year for the 24th, it'll be their 24th state appearance, so they tied the girls, so as a program, so now we have, which is the most state appearances by any Craig or Parker team ever, so we're pretty proud of that. Just a few highlights is that we did have 5 sets of siblings on our cross-country team this year, so talk about the tradition of excellence and how important it is to have longevity and a lot of tradition going through. And also, one of our goals is always to make sure that our student athletes continue beyond our, just beyond the season. And we had probably the largest group of kids that continued to do the turkey trot this year, which is again shows us that they're lifelong sport and committed to a lot of different things outside of just cross-country. So we're just going to highlight. I also want to highlight this is Coach Hunter Solomon's first year as a head coach, and he got a whole team to state, so that's pretty exciting. And a couple other things too is that it is part of our competition is it was really important for Robert and Jacob, who both beat Hunter, who also competed at state as a sophomore by just a few places in just a few seconds. So Robert was 147, Jacob was 140th at state. As a sophomore, Robert was 147 and Coach Solomon was 154. So they beat him a little bit, so we're going to make sure that we continue to talk about how they were just a little bit so he can continue his career as well. So I'm just going to, Lulu Coleman wasn't able to be here tonight, but she earned her second year at state. She was all-conference 2 years in a row. She's academic all-conference 2 years in a row and academic all-state 2 years in a row. So again, her second appearance. And now we have Cameron Anacente, who's going to, this is also his second state appearance. He is the second time he made an academic all-state team, and he's also our team captain, so congratulations. There you go here. I think you guys want your picture. Oops, I think I did half of that, these two. Ooh, that was good. Owen Hotchkiss was our, also, is the second time he made it to state, so 2 years in a row. He's also our captain, again, academic all-state team for the second year in a row. Congratulations.
All right, now I'm here to introduce the rest of the boys' team that made it to state. So we got Andrew Wieners here, two-time state qualifier, academic all-state team 2 times, and academic all-state individual 2 times. You take both of those. All right, and next we have Rhett Thompson. Rhett Thompson, academic all-state team 2 times and academic all-state individual 2 times. We have Ben Williams. Ben Williams made it to state for the first time this year in academic all-state team and academic all-state individual. Now we have Jacob Zass and Robert Zass, who are not able to be here tonight, but they did make it to state. Jacob made it to state for the first time, academic all-state team. Robert made it to state the second time going to state. He was all-conference, academic all-state team, and academic all-state individual. And now we would like to introduce the alternates. Because the alternates for the team do make a real impact on the team, and especially this year, we had a very, very close race-off at conference that decided who was going to run at sectionals and then state. But we have Alistair Dickman here, who was one of those individuals that just didn't happen for him at conference, but gave it his all and had a tremendous season.
See
And then two more real quick. I just do want to say Austin Lilly and Nate Schley were not able to make it here tonight, but they were All-Star alternates and contributed very heavily to the team too. So, thank you. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thanks for having us here again today. I could not be more proud of the two individuals that we're going to be introducing you to. I don't want to steal Coach's thunder, but I had both of these students in class, and you want to talk about just high character, goal-oriented students. I can still remember Trista as a freshman and sophomore saying, hey, I'm going to make it to state someday. But again, I don't want to step on toes. Sorry, Coach. First, I just want to quickly talk about kind of where we're at with our winter numbers. We are currently at 203 participating in the winter, which is up, and we'll go through numbers later at another board member. But Mrs. Liu and I were kind of celebrating on Monday. We just ran our progress reports, and the first time she ran one, she's like, Krieger, I don't know if this is right. And then she ran another one, Krieger, I don't know if this is right. And all of a sudden, we realized that out of the 203 athletes that we had, only 7 of them had one F, for Progress 3. And I don't think we've ever had a 97% passing status this late in the semester. So we were really happy about that. Credit to our leadership, our teachers, our winter coaches, and our athletes and families for just getting it done in the classroom. Looking at fall, we had 320 fall student athletes in the sports of cheer, poms, boys soccer, girls golf, girls swim, girls tennis, girls volleyball, boys and girls cross country and football, which was a 10% increase from last season. And typically I like to talk about our academic all-state at this meeting. Unfortunately, the coaches associations don't have those released yet, so I can't talk about all conference or academic all-state. So I just want to quickly go through our all-conference, our Big 8 all-conference nominees. So Austin Beer, Skylar Bierman, Harper Brandenburg, Evan Curley, Avery Eastman, Braden Gary, Javion Hill, Javante Johnson, Zach McHenry, Gavin Meyer, who was also all-region and all-state, Gilden Milligan, Harrison O'Leary, Anna Radisky, Brandon Saltz, and Cody Slater were all Big 8 all-conference. Our POMs and our cheer team, they don't get recognized at the conference level, so just a shout out to them. Our POMs team just finished first at a regional invite at Verona, and our cheer team has finished first in the last couple of regional invites and actually got a bid to nationals. So we will be bringing them in front of all of you eventually, but just a shout out to them. They are doing a lot of fundraising to pay for their trip to Disney, so if you see Parker Cheer at different events, stop by a car wash or whatever that may be. I think that's all I have. I will turn it over to Coach Amundsen.
All right, thank you for having us here tonight. My name is Mandy Amundsen. I'm the head cross-country coach at Parker High School. This is senior Trista Anderson, who had a very memorable season and got an experience of a lifetime this year. Over the course of the season, she earned 8 medals, including 2 first-place finishes, a captain's award, and 1 state qualifier medal. This year at the sectionals meet, she qualified for state for the first time in her high school career, placing 8th overall and 3rd for individual qualifiers, with a time of 1946. She also beat her lifetime best by 58 seconds. She is the first cross-country athlete from Parker to qualify for the state meet since 2018, and she has the 2nd fastest time for the girls cross-country at Parker High School. My hope is that more athletes from this program follow in her footsteps. Thank you.
Congratulations. That's awesome. Okay.
Next is Coach Aaron Jensen and Coach Derek Schneider for swim.
Hi, I'm Erin Jensen, and this is Derek Schneider. I'm the assistant coach for the Parker Girls Swim team, and this is the head coach, Derek. And we're here to celebrate Lily Mayfield. Lily has concluded her four-year high school swimming career by making her mark in the Parker High School girls swimming history books. She broke 3 school records in her 4 years with us. The 50-yard freestyle, the 100-yard freestyle, and the 100-yard backstroke, just showcasing her remarkable talent and determination. Lily's swimming journey, I got a shout out to the SDJ because she started as a summer swim, learn to swim kiddo. So she's got her love of the water right here in our pools in the SDJ. And then she continued her participation at Franklin Falcon swim team where I got to meet her for the first time. And it's been wonderful ever since. As a 4-year varsity swimmer and 2-time most valuable swimmer on Parker High School team, she exemplifies dedication to year-round training, a rarity in our area. Her commitment has earned her spots in both zone and national competitions on the club circuit, while she always returns to represent her school every August. Recognized as a formidable competitor in one of the state's most challenging conferences and sectionals, Lily commands respect amongst her peers. This season marked her 2nd time representing Parker Swim at the WIA Girls State Championship, where she excelled in her 2 of many of her strong events, the 100 freestyle and the 100 backstroke. Although Lily has finished her high school swim career, she is not done swimming. She's still a member of the local Jayhawk Swim Club and plans to continue her swimming career at the university level, wherever she decides to attend. No matter what pool she dives into next, we're really excited to see what she does, and we're so proud of her.
Congratulations. All right, moving on. Student presenters. Let's start with Parker High School. Peyton Gutzman. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, so is this already on? Okay.
Congratulations on your success, too.
Thank
Your
you so
team.
much. I appreciate that. Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Peyton, and I'm grateful to be here presenting this evening to all of you. Quickly before we begin tonight, I wanted to give a quick message from Parker. On behalf of our school community, I'd like to wish our principal, Mr. Lau, a very happy birthday. Our leadership, dedication, and vision inspires us every single day, and we're grateful for the positive impact that you make on our students and staff. May this year bring you continued success and joy. Okay, moving on. This December, Parker High School has truly embraced the spirit of giving. Across campus, students, staff, and families have united to support one another and extend kindness to all of our community. Every initiative reflects the compassion and creativity of our school, and together they show how the power of generosity can be given when we contribute together. Starting off, our Women Empowerment Club led a food drive for the Parker Closet, collecting approximately 15 full shopping bags of non-perishable items. These donations will provide meals and comforts to families who might go without this holiday season. At the same time of that food drive, our Parker PTSA organized a penny drive, raising about $401 as of November 25th. Not only did the penny drive help those in need, it also made some friendly competition in the hallways between the freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, and even our staff. This effort demonstrates how even the smallest coins, when gathered together, can make a big difference while also having some fun. Our Parker Barn found some creative ways to support students in need. They had a slushy day that raised about $220, showing that fun events can also fuel a meaningful change. In addition, they also hosted their very first laundry drive, and it collected about 73 laundry items, ensuring that students have access to basic necessities that make them feel comforted and cared for. These contributed to everyday items from dryer sheets to detergent to ease the burdens and bring dignity to those facing challenges. Going along with the barn, our DECA program hosted its annual Trick or Can event, and it made an impact to our community by collecting over 1,681 pounds of food for Echo. Our Parker Pro Start FCCLA and Aspiring Educators program hosted their very first pancake breakfast this past month. They were able to help the Janesville community by serving approximately 30 families. This event was more than just a meal. It was a gathering that connected many families in our Janesville community. Sharing food is one of the simplest but yet powerful ways to show care, and this breakfast gives families a warm start to their day while strengthening their bonds with the community. Our Parker Avid program ran a stocking stuffer drive in support of the Big Give. They were able to make 75 full stockings out of items that just our Parker Avid kids were able to bring. And these were small but thoughtful gifts to brighten holiday mornings for children and families. One of the most impactful efforts of the season at Parker is the Big Give, which will provide about 200 families, each receiving about $150 to $200 worth of items donated by families in our local community and around Parker. This initiative ensures that families across the community will experience joy and relief during the holiday season. Beyond the numbers, the Big Give represents hope, a reminder that no family should feel forgotten during this holiday season. It is a powerful example of Parker High School's commitment to lifting up those around us. Together, these projects reflect the heart of Parker High School, a community of dedication to lifting each other up, from food drives to laundry drives, to fundraising events and holiday gifts. Our students and staff have shown that giving is not just a season, it's a part of who we are. This month's theme, the Giving Season, is more than just a slogan to us. It's a lived reality at Parker High School, where generosity flows the hallways, classrooms, and clubs. Each initiative, whether large or small, contributes to the culture and compassion that strengthens our school and our city. As we look ahead, let's carry on the spirit in giving on to the new year, continuing to support one another, spread kindness wherever we go. That's the best of Parker is yet to come. Thank you guys all for having me, and I'll see you guys next month. Thank you.
From Craig High School, Caitlin Kessler. Welcome back.
Good evening, everyone. I'm excited to be here tonight to share an update on all that's been taking place throughout Craig High School over the last few weeks. Before Thanksgiving break, student council members passed out Pilgrim Pops that students wrote for each other. They also sold Best Seat in the House raffle tickets, and one person got to watch the Craig Milton boys basketball game in a recliner chair with a friend and snacks. Interact members made Thanksgiving cards to give to the residents at Riverview Apartments. Interact Club is also volunteering at Gifts Men's Shelter. Members are bringing in items to make a pasta dinner, and then some of the students will go to the men's shelter to make and serve the dinner for the people that are there. Lastly, Interact members raised money to adopt one or more students for Christmas to shop for them and get them gifts. Craig's Red Cross Club will be making holiday cards over the next few days to give to veterans this holiday season. Craig's music and band departments have been busy preparing for many concerts and performances. Yesterday was Craig's orchestra concert. Tomorrow there is a band concert at Craig. On December 15th, there's going to be a combined music department concert. And on December 17th, Craig will have a choir concert that features Marshall's 8th grade choir. Finally, the production of Clue High School Edition is happening this weekend and is being put on by Craig's Drama Guild. As Mr. McCormick said, all winter sports are now fully underway, and girls basketball player Yana Aaliyah Stevens broke the school record for most points scored in a game, with that being 38 points, and was nominated last week for the ESPN Milwaukee's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week. Today I'd like to focus and highlight the organization that serves to bring kindness, joy, support, and a festive surprise to a number of students and their families during the holiday season. This organization is known as the Craig Cares Campaign. The campaign started over 20 years ago by dedicated staff members right here at Craig. It was founded to embody the true spirit of community and care during the holiday season, and it continues to do so today. Mrs. Lippincott started Craig Cares, and she began the effort in honor of her father. Over 2 decades, many dedicated teachers and social workers have sustained this effort. For the last 10 years, however, the campaign has been ran by 2 exceptional individuals, Heather Last and Becky Boylan. Together, they have streamlined the process, expanded its reach, and upheld its core values. The campaign works seamlessly through community trust and staff dedication. It begins with nominations from our own staff, the people who know our students the best. These nominations aren't just for financial need, they are for students who have faced challenges this year, whether due to a recent family loss or simply struggling through a difficult semester. Once nominated, the campaign remains completely anonymous for all participants, protecting the dignity of our students. Staff members then work with the students to create a wish list of things they enjoy. And this is where the power of the community truly shines. The Craig Cares campaign partners with over 78 direct sponsors made up of generous clubs, organizations, and individuals in both the Craig and wider Janesville communities. These sponsors step up to purchase small gifts, gift cards, and something nice to brighten that student's day. We also receive significant monetary donations, which allows Mrs. Last and Mrs. Boylan to purchase items for students whose sponsors choose to give monetarily. The numbers for this year are truly remarkable and demonstrate the scale of the need and the scale of the generosity. This year, the Craig Cares campaign is helping an estimated 185 students. That's a little under 200 of our kids who will receive a thoughtful surprise just before Christmas break. We have 78 sponsors directly purchasing gifts, with some businesses and groups sponsoring up to 10 to 14 children each. But the campaign goes further than just individual students. We also sponsor entire families in partnership with local businesses, churches, and organizations. Companies like Generac have helped provide support for whole families, addressing essential needs that go beyond just small gifts. This holistic approach ensures we are supporting the entire family unit when they need it most. In the next few weeks, the gifts will be coming in, and the faculty will finalize extra purchases for those last-minute students and preparing for the highlight of the year, the special celebration before break, where our students are invited down for a wonderful surprise. This campaign is not simply about holiday cheer, it's a vital part of our school's culture. It teaches our students the value of receiving support and the necessary lesson of gratitude, as every student writes a thank you note to their anonymous sponsor. The Craig Cares campaign is the best example of what happens when staff, students, and the community unite for a common, kind goal. We are all thankful to Mrs. Lass and Mrs. Boylan for their dedication over the last decade, and to every single staff member and community partner who makes this incredible effort possible year after year. They are helping to remove a barrier, provide comfort, and send a clear message to our students. You are seen, you are valued, and your Craig community truly cares. Thank you.
It's great to hear all the service work that both schools are doing. That's commendable and necessary. So thanks very much, you guys. You're dismissed unless you want to stay. No, you don't want to stay? Okay. All right. Citizen comments? We have none? All right, moving on. Need a motion to consider approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously, 8-0. All right. Moving on, 3.1. The Janesville Fire Department, Station Number 3 presentation.
So before I turn it over to Chief Murphy and Brad, the city engineer, just give you a quick background. A couple months ago, had an opportunity to talk with Chief Murphy, and we talk, I guess, every couple months about things that are going on with the district and the fire department, and he shared with me kind of their interest based on some research they did in space for a future fire department. And so as that conversation continued, a couple of weeks ago, I think it was it a couple of weeks ago, met with the chief and our city engineer, Brad, and just talked a little bit about the logistics and said, let's bring this to the board so that you can at least get an understanding of what they're thinking about. And so the purpose tonight is for them to kind of share the background and their thoughts, and then provide you with an opportunity to just get an idea of, ask questions, what they're thinking about. We're not asking you to make any decisions at this time, but really just hear what the city has to say in their presentation and go from there.
I did receive an apology phone call this afternoon from our city manager. Kevin's not feeling well tonight, so he said rather than bring that bug with him, he was gonna take it home, and I appreciate that, so I wish him good health. So I will turn it over to Chief, and thanks for being here.
Thanks, Superintendent Holzman and school board members, Ryan Murphy, Janesville Fire Department Fire Chief. Thank you for having Brad and I. We'll get started here. So the City of Janesville Fire Department, we have 5 fire stations that cover our city. They're strategically placed to serve our community, you know, with response times and in different areas to just maximize our responses. Today, we're going to just talk more about Fire Station number 3. Fire Station number 3 is across from Franklin Middle School at the corner of North Crosby and Alexandria Place. Station number 3 was constructed in 1969. In 2001, the city added extra, you'll see in the picture right there, where the fire engine is, we added a drive-through bay that was for safety. And then in the early or late 1990s, when we were ordering fire engines, we realized that the fire engines were getting a little longer and we weren't going to be able to fit it in that structure. So with that, and along with safety, it's a lot easier for us to drive through than back up, especially in this location. In 2022, we added an ambulance company to the west side, and that added 2 firefighter paramedics. You'll see in this photo the ambulance, so the ambulance backs in every time they return to quarters. And at different times of the day, especially around drop-off and pickup, it gets a little busy, and we'd like to put another drive-through bay in there just to increase our safety and for us and the public. So in 2024, the fire department approached the city manager, and we entered into our capital improvement plan and requested a facility analysis of Fire Station number 3. And the council approved for 2025 this analysis. Part of this analysis was for condition assessment of the existing building and grounds, space needs analysis, alternative analysis for a remodel versus a rebuild at the existing site. Because our initial thought was that we would use, if possible, the existing building or at least that existing site. And then we'd also consider the best practices for fire station operations and layout. The analysis came back. Remodeling the existing facility is not feasible. We identified like an estimate or approximate about 11,000 square feet for a new facility, but that's really preliminary as we haven't begun the design phase yet. And our existing station is 6,300 square feet. The existing site constraints limit the ability for a larger building footprint as well.
Good evening. So I can elaborate a little bit about the existing site constraints. So as Chief Murphy mentioned, the space needs analysis recommended a larger building than what we have today. And so when you look at this site, I just wanted to demonstrate the constraints. The yellow rectangle there represents the parcel boundary. And what you see with the 3 red lines, heading north-south direction, those are these large overhead utility lines that you would see if you drive by. Those are owned by ATC, and they are served, or they provide service to the Alliance substation just north of the site. So when you look at site constraints, we can't move the building or expand the building to the west because we already have those existing utility lines impacting our ability to grow out in the west direction. The next thing I wanted to point out is the orange rectangle inside of the yellow rectangle. That's representing the building setback lines. So anything within that, you could technically build a building based on our setbacks from the property line and right-of-way, in which case along Alexandria Place, that's about 25 feet behind the sidewalk Same thing on North Crosby Avenue, that's about 25 feet behind the sidewalk. On the north side of the site, there's a setback of about 8 to 10 feet. So as you can tell, that limits our ability to expand the building footprint based on this existing site. The other thing I wanted to point out, as Chief Murphy mentioned, with that egress and ingress of the fire station, you'll notice the green shape there, talking about just kind of representing the proximity of the driveway for the fire station as it relates to the drop-off and pickup zone for Franklin Middle School. Ideally, in a perfect world, those spaces would be separated a little bit so we don't have that conflict in place. All right, so as I mentioned, the site has some existing constraints and in our ability to grow that building footprint. And so we immediately took a look at what can we do? Can we look at some alternative site considerations? And one of the things that creates an advantage for building a fire station, when you build a new fire station, you got to think about how do you keep service to that part of town? How do you keep that fire station operational while you're building a new one? And that doesn't work very well when you're on the same site. And so that was part of the consideration. We can't expand the building footprint, but if we can find an alternative site, that's a great thing because we can keep the existing fire station in service while we're building the new one. When we looked at alternative site considerations, we thought this would be great if we can build this site in the proximity of the current location, specifically on North Crosby Avenue. We'll have a slide after this that shows why that site is in great proximity. When you look at the fire station around the city, you'll notice that they're situated very close to I'll call it more of a major road, an arterial road. That's important to be able to get out of the station and get to various locations around town within the city and the outer townships. So with these locations, this fire station number 3 is situated in a very good strategic location for serving this side of the community. And so, we had looked at some locations along North Crosby Avenue.
So fire station number 3 has great north, south, east, west access and corridors. We can access Parker High School, Mercy Hospital quickly. We have direct routes that way. We also have a direct route to the West Court Street corridor, along with, to the south, we can go over the Bell Richard Bridge and reach the south side of Janesville very quickly. And lastly, to the north, we have pretty good access to West Memorial Drive and the newer subdivisions out to the west. So as we evolved and we talked, we began to look at possible areas, and we found that maybe this was a possibility and that we would start the discussion. As you can see right here, the Franklin Middle School, Madison Elementary School to the southwest, you'll see that corner. That's where we're talking about to possibly expand or rebuild new fire station number 3. So as this discussion goes on an alternative site, a potential project schedule would be these discussions until, we come to an agreement with whoever or wherever we decide on this alternative site. Design phase would follow, along with a bidding process and a construction phase. The construction phase, we estimate, would be about 1 year to construct a new fire station. So some of the city's goals is to build Fire Station 3 on an alternative site, and we want to meet the community's current and future needs with this new fire station. We want to incorporate best practices into the fire station facility design. And this would all help us keep that existing fire station or that west side coverage operational while that's what we have for our presentation. Does anybody have any questions for us?
Thanks, Chief. Anybody? Go ahead, Carl.
Yeah, it's the first chance I've really had to look at it in depth. And you're proposing the best practice right now would be to locate on a site in a part of the town that's earmarked for heavy growth in the future. Is that not correct? The west side is earmarked for future growth. I know it is for schools.
Yes, there's opportunity to expand on the western side of the community.
We know there's gonna be a lot of pressure on Washington and Madison schools. I'm looking at a parcel of land that allows both of those to expand if necessary too. Now, school districts are contracting a lot, that's realistic. But now you're gonna take a corner and maybe the future expansion will be needed too. I mean, in 20 years, you don't wanna come back and have to expand, and everybody else is looking to expand on that finite site. So I don't wanna throw in that you haven't taken the time to really study that. And I don't know what alternate sites there are on that part. It also bothers me that, and it always has, that the fire station's in a potential busy school district site with parents picking up children walking to school and leaving school. So I'm wondering, I'd like to know more about the alternate sites you've offered and that, thinking of out there, because I'm a west side person in the past. And finding those, and I realize there's constraints with the hills, country club, and other things. So you can't go out and buy one of those out, and it's hard to locate a fire station maybe up on a totally there. But I'm uncomfortable at this point, but thank goodness we don't need to make it same access to the things, because the access are good. But I'm just kind of not trying to be negative to it, but I'm trying to be cautious. And I'm hoping maybe there's something else around there as such, having lived on the west side for many years. So.
Yeah, thank you for that feedback. We're happy to, this is all part of our process here as we explore alternative sites, and we're happy to provide additional information on that as we go forward.
I guess I'll piggyback off of Carl's comment. Have you looked at alternative sites besides the one that you've identified here?
Yeah, generally we have looked on the west side of the community, and when we look at idea was, okay, does the city own any parcels of land on the west side where this would fit? And so we were able to check that box, that we took a look at that. And then we're trying to look at parcels that are relatively flat, that to these routes, as Chief Murphy mentioned. There are a few vacant parcels on the west side of the community. Most of those parcels are designated with like a commercial type zoning and such, more specifically towards the West Court Street corridor. There are some vacant lands in that area, but specifically the school board is the, we're coming here as part of our process to talk to you about the possibility and the viability of that, and if you're open to a conversation to explore that more.
Yeah, did you consider any land that would have a direct access right to Mineral Point? In other words, entrance right on Mineral Point, which would seem to make sense because you count and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely we did, and there is a vacant parcel to the west of North Crosby, in between, I would say in between Franklin and Parker. It isn't under, it's under private ownership, and so on that site, there's a significant drop from the road to the back end of the parcel. Outside of that, there aren't a lot of other parcels along the Mineral Point corridor that meet the size requirements and the setup of it, as far as topography, being a nice flat site to build a fire station.
One of the other things is when we do have fire stations, and as I stated, they're strategically placed. When we move them in certain areas and farther out of kind of where they're at right now, it changes our second due locations or second due fire stations coming into that area. So what might seem just like if I move this a little bit, it's only going to impact that little part of the community. But when we do move fire stations a great distance one way or another, that does impact our entire system and how we calculate second due vehicles coming in, especially on fire incidents. Incidents.
What's second due?
I'm sorry. So one fire engine goes to a fire, we time out that second fire engine, ladder truck, others coming in to assist. I apologize for using maybe not common knowledge, I guess. Thank you.
This might be a question for you, Mr. Holzman. Do the school district of Janesville owns that property, if that's my understanding, and the city would be purchasing it from us? Or we would be working out some sort of a situation there?
Yeah, we have,
Purchasing it,
we own it, and I want to say policy 7,000, I'm looking at Dan, remember what the number is, but we have a policy that talks about how we go about selling property or, and only the board can do that. So, yes, that would be, again, the board would have to decide, and
Could I request that all board members receive that separate policy so that we could review that as part of this discussion? Thank you.
Well, thanks you guys for being here. I guess I'm a retired firefighter, so I lived in that building. But I see this as a potential for some great partnerships. This year, I think we're asking to approve tonight a new course offering, EMT. I walked that grounds where your request is, and there's a half a sidewalk from Madison, and it ends right in the middle of that field. So I see a real potential of a partnership here of improving that whole area, not just for the city, but for the school district. I can envision a better drop-off area that we might be able to compromise on. And then continuing that sidewalk from Madison all the way out to Crosby would be a wonderful example too. And I see great partnerships with some co-op with fire department. I mean, this is how we can get things going in that career field as well. So the board will take discussions based on our policy and on personal feedback and opinion, and we'll see where we go from there. Does anybody else have any other questions? And I know the chief is always available for further questions, and yes, Carl?
A quick one. Something was mentioned. Would this be a trade of property?
Well, at this time, all that discussion about this for that, or quid pro quo, or how we're gonna do it, this is just the exploratory discussion. We just got their pitch.
Okay.
So now it's up to us to, well, what are we gonna do with that?
Well, I want to physically get a chance to go out and look at all the property and that, in the rain and snowdrops, those things. But just see that and look at some of the properties surrounding. I know it'd be a money-saving thing, perhaps, and that. So
responsibility at this point is to make a decision on this presentation, to engage with the city about what are the alternative sites for the city.
be nice to know though, Kevin.
Okay, so, anybody else? Mark?
Yeah, I think what I would be looking for, and we can share information through email, would be the board's interest in continuing the conversation. But I think it's fair to the two gentlemen that are presenting to us and to the city, that if there is an interest, then we tell them, we're not interested, no thank you. If there is interest, then I would then kind of work with the board on direction on, okay, what do you want to know and what does it look like and how we might work through that process. But I don't even want to go there until the board has a chance to think about it. My recommendation would be that we can have some conversations at a preliminary board meeting. So you'll have a month to kind of think about that. You can converse with me if you have any questions. The board wants to take action at a future board meeting. And if there's information more that you would like, let me know and I'll make sure that I can gather what we can.
Thank you.
Say thanks for the, having EMT training in the schools. It is extremely important. We're struggling right now to bring in quality candidates, and having candidates that are local from Janesville is very important to us. We want to mirror our community and have community partnerships, so thank you for that as well.
Next, discussion on potential January board workshop.
I would propose that on January 27th, which is a Tuesday, the fourth Tuesday of the month, that we come together as a board to have a workshop to talk a little bit about, probably to talk a lot about budget, finance, and benefits. We have a lot of things in front of us in this upcoming fiscal year. And I think it's always a good opportunity to ask questions, provide information, kind of chart out what the next years might look like. The November of 2026 is a potential operational referendum date, where our 2-year operational referendum will end, and so we'll have to make some decisions on that. And so we need to start having some conversations about what does that look like, what's the board's interest, how much information we have. We also know that we've been continuing to look at information about our health insurance, and we care deeply about the benefits we provide, but there likely is a 14% interest increase in our health insurance for next year. And so we have to talk about how does that fit within the forecast of the budget. So I had a couple of conversations with a couple of board members, and I just was opening up, I guess the date obviously is negotiable, but that's just a Tuesday that typically we have board meetings, and so I just throw that out to see if there's board first interest, and then find the date that works.
Anybody?
I think it's always good preparation to talk about budget and benefits and health insurance and get ahead of it. So I think that date would work well, because we typically have board meetings on the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month, and we don't have a board meeting that month, so a good opportunity, and it's right along with our schedule.
Does anybody have would you like us to have a preferred time on that? Is that do we want to do a 5 o'clock, a 6 o'clock? I'm looking at.
How long do you think it'll go? I mean, we could be here for hours, I know. I'm asking for a reason. Strategically, are you gonna talk for 3 hours, 4 hours? We start at noon? I mean, when do we start? Like, I'm thinking 5.
Yeah, I think anything more than 2 hours ends up being too
Yeah.
much.
So if it's like 5 to 7, that might work. We could.
Too early? 6? 5:30? 6?
I'll show up at 6.
If it's a board meeting night,
Yeah.
a normal one, what
Yeah.
would be scheduled that isn't now.
Right.
Let's just fill in there.
Okay. I will be, whenever the time is, I will be there. I just need to make sure that it works for our board members.
Let's just keep it normal board time.
I plan to be gone watching Easton that night, but I can catch up.
Mhm.
Separate total schedule. I plan to that night,
Board time?
So right now, we're tentatively scheduled, I'll lean to my great colleague to the left, say 6 o'clock on the 27th of January,
2026.
2026. And it will be a board workshop, so no action items taken.
We just expect certain speakers to talk really, really fast.
New Year's resolution.
All right, excellent. Moving on, Personnel Policy Curriculum Committee report.
That would be me. Liz is at a middle school band concert tonight with her son, so I'm pitch hitting for the overview of our last PPC meeting. New course proposals were submitted to the consent agenda for all of you to view, and we approved those tonight. We did have a wonderful presentation from the team who visited Steubenville, Ohio, on a Bright Spots grant from the Forward Foundation. Dr. DeGraff and a dedicated team from Wilson Elementary visited Garfield Elementary in Steubenville, Ohio, back in November to learn about the work that has been done there to achieve great success in student achievement and attendance. Garfield Elementary is nearly identical in demographics to Wilson Elementary. And that was quite intriguing to see the statistics during that presentation of how identical they are. The team shared strategies that they learned related to reading and math blocks for the school schedule, and Wilson is already at work to make adjustments where possible to replicate their best practice strategies that they learned from Garfield Elementary. I would really strongly encourage you to watch that full presentation to learn more about the work being done and the impact and dedication of the Wilson Elementary team. It was probably one of the best highlights of me being on PPC was listening to that presentation. I do want to make a shout out to the Forward Foundation for providing that grant so that our teachers and administration can learn from best practices across this nation and bring it back to Janesville. I think that's amazing, so thank you. Staff handbook changes were also presented by Carrie Mickelson. PPC is reviewing those changes as HR works through the entire handbook. Thank you. And updates where appropriate. And finally, Jamie Brown shared the launch of the new Healthiest You telehealth healthcare clinic that will soon be available to our employees with zero cost to employees. I'm going to repeat that again, zero cost to employees. This program is being implemented to help offset the challenges that are being faced in trying to schedule and see your doctors for some quick treatment visits, like similar to pink eye. This is a general medical care of non-emergency urgent care needs. We are told that 100% of our members will be able to be seen the same day. Something that I found of interest was that other services that will also be available via Telehealth U is mental health services. So psychiatric, okay, I'm gonna delete that because it's getting late at night. Diagnostic medication management, and they're also saying that their appointments are going to be promised with those mental health services within 7 days, and usually that's a longer stay with your other primary, and the wait time would be expedited, so that's appreciated. Another option, for example, is dermatology as well, and those appointments will be available within 2 to 3 days. The practice does not replace your care options through your employee primary care physicians, and that is still an option for care. Healthiest You is in addition to the healthcare services already available under our employees' health insurance. But this will just be done virtually through a telehealth format. So that was interesting to learn about. I encourage you to learn more about that as well. And our next PPC meeting will be held Monday, January 5th at 4:30.
Thanks, Lisa. Moving on, Finance, Buildings and Grounds.
Yes. We had a rather quick meeting, only an hour and 20 minutes. So it can go quick. But it was highly detailed, and just a couple of the items to cover here is we really reviewed the results of the referendum big package 1A. There will be a 1B and then 2A and B and 3A and B. So it will be ongoing for this for a while. But really it was a positive result, timing to get work done, and you're going, so where is that? As a reminder, and this bid package 1 is Jefferson, Wilson, the ESC, Lincoln, Craig, and Parker. But the focus of this particular set was the ESC, Wilson, and Jefferson. What work will be done? Replacing original windows, updating heating and cooling systems, and becoming compliant with the updating restrooms and ADA. So factored in there is also looking at the special ed areas. So as I said, it was a really positive result from the bid process. Our partners, JP Cullen, was extremely satisfied, and so are we, because at least the potential budget right now, if things come in as they are, we would be slightly under, which is good because we probably won't be that way throughout the whole process. So that was good. As I mentioned, bid package 1 and bid package 2, it'll be a little bit, but that's including Madison, Monroe, Adams, Roosevelt, and Washington. And then lastly, Jackson, Kennedy, Marshall, Van Buren, Harrison, Addison, Franklin, Rock River, Chestnut House will be in bid package 3. So going back to bid package 1, when will it happen? Summer 26 through 27. Okay, then moving on. So that's really the referendum package view of it. Normal capital projects. And I'll say capital maintenance, because it's improvements, but it's only improving what we have. So it's not really increasing any in additional. So the projects that have been completed, roofing projects at Franklin, Lincoln, Washington, Rock River, Marshall, and Craig. Ball diamond updates. Ball diamond updates.
Yay.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Parker and Craig.
Yeah.
And then moving toward a chiller replacement there at Craig, which the old system failed this past summer. I go through that because it's always ongoing. We can look at the referendum work, but it doesn't mean that the other work stops. It's just we don't have enough money through our normal funding to get the other stuff done. And I think the last piece I'll end on is we're going to be talking about, really a budget workshop and go through that. Well, it's a workshop, but in the committee, we're always planning. So it's an ongoing conversation as we look to when do we do this. And really out of that really is the thought for the workshop is to get all of the board members up to speed as quick as we can. So looking forward to our meeting later this month. Any questions from anybody? Thank you.
Thanks, Craig. Okay, future meetings and dates and times.
All right, the Finance, Buildings, and Grounds Committee will meet on Tuesday, December 16th at 3 p.m. at the ESC. The Personnel Policy Curriculum Committee's next meeting is Monday, January 5th, 2026 at 4:30 at the ESC, and our next Board of Education meeting is Tuesday, January 13th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the ESC.
Wonderful. 1 hour and 10 minutes. We're adjourned.
Greg?
You should have. You should have. I left it open for you.
You did it, we totally did. Okay, Greg. Will you sign?
All right.
Please. Happy birthday, Craig.
How do we,
I talked to you how many times today? You didn't even.
Greg,